everything. So I do like to use a little mat on my mat, a little extra comfort. You could put a blanket on your mat, you could use a towel, but it's also not necessary. So just know that, you know, that's an option, and always being really gentle with your body. Today's class, the YIN class, it is gentle and not. So it's not as much movement as some of the other classes, definitely not like the strength class, not like the vinyasa flow class. It's a slow, deep stretch, but it's a deep stretch. And so that's why I call it the empower class, because you come to sensation, you come to that edge, and then you stop and you stay. So we're really getting into the connective tissue in YIN or in empower. So that's what we're going to do today. It's almost time. So we're actually going to start class in child's pose. So let's come down into our child's pose. As you're coming to your mat, toes come to touch, knees come out wide, sink your hips down towards your heels. Lengthen your spine, and then just start to walk your fingertips forward, letting your chest sink closer and closer to the mat, letting your forehead rest into the mat, reaching your fingertips forward, and really start to focus on the alignment of your spine. So starting to be aware of the elongation from your tailbone through the crown of your head. So really lengthening forward as you're reaching forward. Sinking your hips back away from you. Start to notice the natural rhythm of your breath here. Focusing on your breath. Maybe you close down your eyes. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Take your 2-word check-in. How are you feeling in this moment? Just becoming aware. Maybe the first thing that comes to mind is a physical sensation. So maybe you're like, I'm tight and I'm sore, or I am, or maybe it is, I'm tired this morning, but I'm excited for the day. I'm excited for the weekend. It could be, just no matter what it is, don't judge it, don't overthink it, just identify where you're at today in this moment. So from your child's pose, let's tent up our fingertips. Let your forehead rest down on the mat, and almost as if you were putting your fingers over top of a cupcake, just tenting your fingertips up, but continuing to let your chest sink toward the mat. Focusing on your breath, feeling how this is activating tension. Inhales and exhales through the nose. See if you can sink your chest a little bit lower toward the mat. Release your hands down onto the mat, and we're going to walk our hands, both hands, to the left-hand side. You can even place your right hand on top of your left hand. Forehead comes down to the mat. Now I really want you to think about the stretch through the right side body. Think about the elongation from your right hip through to your right fingertips. And focus on the breath, feeling that side body expand with your inhale and release with your exhale. So really feeling that stretch through the side body. Let's take a couple breaths here. Inhales and exhales through the nose. Really using your exhale to see if you can sink into the pose. Now, let's walk our hands back through center. Take a pause, take a breath, and then let's walk across to the other side, really lengthening through the left side body here. Seeing if you can breathe tension out of the body and really noticing how the side body expands with your inhale and releases with your exhale. Focusing on that breath, inhaling, expand, and exhaling, release. Walk your hands back through center. And we're going to come into melted heart pose. So bringing your hands together over top of your head into prayer and really letting your chest sink down toward the mat. Focusing on the breath. Seeing if there's anywhere you can soften the breath. Letting your body sink toward the mat. Noticing how when you sink your chest, closer toward the mat, you really open up through your shoulders. Really breathe into that space. Breathe into the chest. Breathe into the shoulders. Today's stretch is really about the shoulders, so it feels really good. Getting into the shoulders, melting your heart toward the mat, really feeling the chest sink into the mat. Now, we're going to press yourself up, bring your legs together, and we're going to come all the way down onto our stomach. Now let's start by extending our right arm out toward the right, and then we're going to roll our body open, letting your head sink into the mat, roll that body open, getting deeper into the shoulders. I went and played Top Golf last night. Super, super fun. This feels extra good in the shoulders today. Just finding stability with that top leg, rolling your hips open, letting your right ear stay planted into the mat. You might feel some pressure in the right shoulder. Know that that's totally okay. Even that's intentional. And you might be thinking to yourself, what is this sensation that I'm feeling? And you can ask yourself if this is a part of your emotional body or a part of your physical body, because it is connected. And it's up to us to cultivate the intelligence within ourselves to know which is which. Focus on your breath, inhales and exhales through your nose. Let's roll through center, extending your left arm out, and then roll through center, rolling onto the opposite side, bringing that leg up, resting your ear down on the mat. Really getting into the shoulder as a muscle, getting into the connective tissue. I'm going to move myself around because it feels really funny to talk to you and address you with my back to the camera. I know that you can hear me fine because of my mic, but yes. Let your head rest down. Focus on your breath. Inhales and exhales through the nose. Getting deep into sensation here. Really getting into the shoulders. Roll back through center. Press yourself up, coming into your tabletop position. From your tabletop position, let's inhale into your cow pose, arching the spine, lifting the gaze. Exhale into your cat pose, dropping your head, letting it hang heavy, gazes at your belly button. Inhale into your cow pose. Exhale into your cat pose. Link your breath to your movement. Take some movements here on your own breath. I know I've said it before, but this is a maintenance posture. So good for every day. Yes, I think that doing stretching or yoga every day in some form helps to keep a happy life. Now, it doesn't have to be that really strenuous yoga like our strength class yesterday, but stretching, being mindful of the body absolutely every day. And that to me is what Yogi Institute's about. That's my inspiration. Inhale, extend your right leg long, and then step it up in between your hands. And we're going to come into that low lunge, sinking your hips forward, sinking into your hips here. Shoelace side of your feet is pressed into the mat. You can close down your eyes. There's a couple options here. You can bring your hand onto your knee and lift your chest. It's a little bit more active. You can also bring your hands to your hips, or you can bring your hands behind your back, really opening up through your chest, lifting your gaze, finding your breath. Really sinking into those hips. Inhales and exhales through the nose. Finding that edge and embracing the edge, sinking into the edge. Now again, your hands can stay down on the mat. They can always come back down onto the mat, or you can stay lifted or behind your back. You can tilt your chin toward the ceiling if that feels good. Anytime we tilt our chin, we're activating the communication center in our body, our throat chakra. And our throat chakra helps, it's our space of expression, communication. And when we open up our chest like this, when we open up our heart and we open up our throat, we're creating, cultivating clear, authentic, heartfelt communication. So this is a really beautiful, gentle way to begin to communicate from that heartfelt space. Let's bring our hands down to the mat and let's shift our weight back. So shift your right hip toward the wall behind you. Lengthen through your leg. Flex your toes toward your face. Now you can stay lifted like I am, or you can lower. And just notice, get curious how that lowering feels in your body. You can bring your gaze to your knee and little by little work that gaze, work your upper body closer and closer to that leg. Now another thing you can do is you can bend into the knee and bring your forehead to your knee and see how that feels in your body. Or your leg can be straight and you can be stretched forward. Just finding your edge, finding what feels and creates sensation in your body, and then staying, pausing, being there, being with that feeling, that physical feeling, and observing what comes up along the way. So this is what I mean by it's gentle, but it's not so gentle. Let's switch sides. So shift your weight back forward. Release your right leg. Bring it out long. Feel that release. Maybe you do a couple circles with that back leg and then release it down. And then let's switch sides. So inhale your left leg long. Lengthen, lengthen, stretch. And then bring it up in between your hands. Extend that back leg out as feels right, as feels, press the shoelace side of your foot down into the mat. Now you can start with your hands down onto the mat. Get yourself placed. Sink your hips forward. And then you can bring your hands onto your knees, pressing yourself up. You can keep your hand on your knees. You can bring your hands onto your hips, or you can open up through that chest, lift your gaze, tilt your chin. You can close down your eyes if that feels good for you. Finding your breath, noticing how closing your eyes helps you to activate those stability muscles in the body. Focus on the breath. Let's straighten out that front leg, flex your toes, sink your left hip toward the wall behind you. Feel that activation. Toes are flexed. See how this feels in the body, keeping your legs straight. Now there's the option to bend into that knee and make the forehead to knee connection, noticing where you feel that in the body. I will never stop saying this. Sensation is nothing to fear. Sensation is the body letting you know where you can stretch into. So never, get into something, and because I really feel this in my left hip, in my hamstrings, like a lot. And I don't have to, oh God, I can't not feel that. I can't feel that, like I'm afraid to feel that sensation. It's okay. As we come into the pose, the yoga, the posture itself, that's helping to release that tension that's in there. Focus on your breath, focusing the mind, allowing yourself to be here. Inhales and exhales through the nose. Sink back forward. Extend your left leg out long. Feel that release. Maybe it feels good to do some circles. And release down. Ooh, that side's really tight for me. All right, let's come into our easy seat. And we're going to bring our hands behind our back and open up our chest to the ceiling, letting your head hang heavy, tilting your chin toward the ceiling, and focus on your breath. You can let your head hang all the way down, or it can stay lifted, really opening up through the chest. Seeing how it feels in your body to maybe walk your hands a little bit further away from your back. Focusing on the breath. Feeling the chest expand with the inhale and feeling it release. Sink your chest forward, roll out your shoulders. Now let's bring the soles of the feet together, coming into our hip opener butterfly. Couple options here. So maybe your knees are like this. You can place your elbows on the inside of your knees, helping to open up your hips. Maybe your knees are falling open. That's good too. Now let's inhale, extend, and then exhale, bring the chest forward. Feeling how that activates the stretch. So if your knees are open, maybe they're more like this, that's okay too. Stretching into our hips. Find your breath. Let your chest sink forward as much as possible. Inhales and exhales through the nose. Slowly start to lift. Let's release our legs out in front of us. Ground down into your sitting bones. Flex your toes towards your face. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale as you come forward. Again, stretching your chest towards your toes. Stretching your energy forward, not just down. Forward. Noticing in your body if it feels better to release down. Inhales and exhales through the nose. Let's slowly roll up. Bend your right leg. Put it on the outside edge of your left leg. Inhale, your arms come up overhead. Exhale, as your left elbow comes to the outside edge of that leg. Right hand comes behind you. Gentle twist, gaze comes out over your right shoulder. Find your breath. Breathe into your twist. Using your exhale to twist little by little, deeper and deeper. Come back through center. Release your right leg out long. Switch sides. Left leg bends, comes over top of the right. Inhale, your arms come up overhead. Exhale, as you twist. Bring your hand behind you, gaze out over your left shoulder. This is helping your digestive system along. Healthy digestion is so important to overall health. I know that might seem obvious, but it's just so important. Come back through center, release your leg out long, and we're going to come all the way down onto our backs. Legs come out wide. Ankles come to the corners of your mat. Hands come down by your side, palms facing open. Close down your eyes. Start to be aware of the breath. Inhales and exhales through the nose. Giving yourself this gift of stillness. Taking this time to release any tension in the body. Inhales and exhales through the nose. Let's slowly, gently roll to the side. You can use your arm as a pillow. Take a moment, take a breath. This is fetal pose. Press yourself up into an easy seat. Hands come through heart center. Ground down into your sitting bones. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Really lengthen through the spine. Exhale, release. Take a 2-word check-in here. How are you feeling now in this moment? Just taking notice. Stay in this easy seat. I'm going to read something to you before we close out class. It doesn't need to make sense to anyone if it makes sense to you. It's your life and your choices. Everything else is just noise. Step forward with faith in yourself and you'll be happier for it. To me, yoga allows us to tap into that inner guidance, that inner compass, and helps us to live from more of a authentic space and step forward from an authentic space. And we align ourselves with that authentic compass as we come to our mats. So I'm so grateful when you take the time to do that for you, to live a full and authentic life. The light in me sees, honors, reflects, and encourages the light in each of you. Namaste. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Just a reminder, classes are being extended. There's a new class being added each day next week. So it'll be the same theme, the same type of class, but it will be 55 minutes, 60 minutes, and it will start at 6 a.m. Central Time. So I would love to have you join. But you have to buy membership. So head to my website and find out about that. But these classes will stay online as always. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and I'll see you on your mat soon. Have a good day.